Good morning, everybody. It's Serge Bogosian with another hockey video. I am the hockey guru. It's been an amazing last couple of days in the NHL. Today I'm going to talk about go over about the draft that happened, a couple of the trades. But I want to start off by talking about the John Tavares situation, which has gotten heated or progressed in the last couple of days. So today, the signing period, July 1st is the official day you can sign players. They become unrestricted free agents. However, a week before, which is today, you can start negotiating with them. So it's been reported, it came out, that John Tavares will be meeting with 5 teams. And those 5 teams will be meeting with his agent in LA, ironically. But Tavares will be in, in LA, and I believe he's meeting first. 3 teams we're sure about. And we have a couple of speculations on the other teams, but he'll be meeting with Toronto, San Jose, Dallas, and it's been speculated the 2 other teams are Tampa Bay and possibly Vegas. Now, it's been reported that Larry Brooks, the longtime writer in New York, reported that one of those teams is definitely not the Rangers. Ranger fans, you've had an interesting last year, and some of you were hoping Tavares might be an option, but Tavares is not. Looks like that is not going to the Rangers. So, why is this important? Lou Lamoriello basically left the Leafs. Now, he wasn't fired by the Leafs. He was hired by the Leafs to basically get Kyle Dubas up to speed. Kyle Dubas is a great general manager. I believe Kyle Dubas is one of the youngest, greatest hockey minds in the game. And Lou Lamoriello thought, well, I'm going to leave Toronto and I'm going to go to the Islanders and hopefully build a cup. Now, the Islanders have a long way to go to build a cup, and if they lose John Tavares, they're going to go back even more. They have an arena problem. They'll be playing 20 games this year, half the season in Nassau and half the season at the barn, and the Barclays is not a hockey rink, so they need to build a rink. Looks like they're going to be in Long Island, but without John Tavares, the Islanders are dead. So they need to sign John Tavares. However, Tavares will be talking to 5 teams, and this is great. Now, the rumor is Lamoriello and the Islanders offered an 8-year deal. Now, for those that don't know, if it's your team that you've already signed with, you're able to offer an 8-year contract. Another team, if you go into the free agent market, you can only sign a max 7-year deal. The rumor is he's been offered an $11 million 8-year deal for $88 million. However, he's probably looking for somewhere in the $12 to $13 million range. The teams that he's talking to, Toronto has the cap space right now anyway. San Jose has been clearing cap space to make an offer like this. Dallas, T-Bay has to make a lot of moves to get the cap space, and they said they would. And Vegas does have the money to offer. LA was in the running. However, after signing Kovalchuk, doesn't look like LA will be one of the teams that's going to be offering JT the money. Now, some news that has come out. Now, I am obviously a Leafs fan, and I'm not going to be overly excited about this until it happens, but there is some speculation that there is a small possibility. John Tavares is from the Toronto area. John Tavares grew up in Toronto. John Tavares played as a junior hockey in the GTHL. Played as in the GTHL in his Bantam year, scored 95 goals for 187 points. He played for the Oshawa Generals. Another little tidbit. Again, I don't want to bring rumors onto the scene, but John Tavares' his fiance is from the Toronto area, and it's been reported by a couple of sources out there that she has taken a position. I believe she's a physiotherapist. She's taken a position at a Toronto hospital. Take that for what it's worth. Tavares' fiance is from Toronto. Tavares is from Toronto as well. Now, with the Islanders situation, yes, the Islanders seem to be going in the right direction by getting Barry Trotz and maybe Lamoriello, but they are much further away to a Stanley Cup than the Leafs are, than the Sharks are, than Dallas, even Vegas. Vegas was there. San Jose was there 2 years ago in the final. And with Tavares on T-Bay, they're a cup contender. So I don't think the Islanders are a cup contender. First of all, you don't have a goalie. Second of all, You haven't done well in the last few years, and I don't care what Lou Lamoriello says he's going to do. You're still far away. So, John, I'm talking to you, John. You need to sign with Toronto. You will be a Stanley Cup champion if you sign with the Leafs. Please do it, Johnny. We love you in Toronto. Now, it's probably going to take $12, $13 million per year contract to get Tavares. Now, the other thing the Leafs have going for them, and this is something that they have presented to them, is in Toronto, there's a lot more marketing opportunity for a guy like Tavares. Toronto is a big city where he will be the big dog. It's not like in New York where the Yankees and, the Giants and the Jets and the Mets and all the other teams, even the Rangers, they're not even the top hockey team, I believe, in the New York area. In Toronto, he will be by far the biggest athlete. He will be walking the streets of Toronto as a god. And if he brings the Stanley Cup after 51 years to Toronto, he will be a legend for the rest of his life in Toronto. Now, some people might not be able to handle that pressure. Some people will thrive off it. There's a lot more commercial opportunities in Toronto. He like all advertisers across Canada, across the great the Toronto area. So he could make $20-30 million a year playing in Toronto. Those same opportunities might not be available in California on the West Coast or in Vegas. However, the thing that San Jose and Vegas have going for them is that he can be more mellow over there. He's not the go-to guy. He's not going to be, all the pressure, all the media. You go into a Maple Leafs practice, there's 50 media in there. You go to a Sharks practice, it's a lot different. We've been there. We've been to a Sharks practice. We love San Jose. And however, it's just not the same pressure playing on the West Coast. Now, having said all this, typically what happens with players like this, they end up signing with their team. And again, Tavares is possibly using these teams, especially Toronto and maybe San Jose, to leverage Lamoriello to get more money out of him. And he's going to get the money. Now, does he deserve McDavid money? Is the team that signs him to an 8-year contract going to regret it? Possibly. You're overpaying in the back end of the deal. But Tavares right now is one of the top scorers in the league. He's a point of game guy, 35 to 40 goal scorer, great guy in the locker room, great character player. You definitely want this guy. Now, if the Leafs were to get him, I guarantee we'll be a Stanley Cup contender automatically. Probably the best down the middle situation in the whole NHL. So with Matthews, Kadri, and Tavares, no one's going to stop them. So JT, do the right thing, brother. Take the Leafs offer. Sign. Do it for us. Now let's go a little bit about the draft, all right? So it was an interesting first round. Typically, there's not too many surprises in the first round. There were a lot of surprises. So Rasmus Dahlin goes to the Sabres. No surprise there. Andrei Svechnikov goes to the Hurricanes. Again, no surprise. And then the first surprise off the board, Jesperi Kotkaniemi. Sorry if I'm mispronouncing it. The Canadians needed a center, and they went and got the best available center. Now, the talk is he's not ready to be in the NHL this year. That's one thing against him. He is possibly not ready for a while, and he's a bit of a risk. So the Senators take Tkachuk, Brady Tkachuk, son of Keith, brother of Matthew. Coyotes take Brett Hayton. And the Red Wings at number 6, I think, got the best player after Dahlin in the draft. Filip Zadina, one of the top goal scorers. He's an offensive genius. The Red Wing players are going to love him. He's a great two-way hockey player as well. First deal of the draft the Red Wings get Zadina. Quinn Hughes goes to Canucks. Adam Boqvist goes to the Blackhawks. And here, the first surprise I had was on the number 9, Vitaly Kravtsov, a Russian player, played in the KHL. Has some scoring ability, fantastic speed, size, and skill and grit. But he was a little bit off the board. I thought the Rangers should have went with Oliver Wahlstrom there at that pick, the great explosive offensive player. This kid's been scouted since he was 9 years old. Excuse me. I've been watching this kid for a long time, and he's an exciting player. He played on the American junior team. He's a great player. I thought they should have went with him. They took a risk with it. Whenever you take a KHL guy, there's always a risk that he's not going to come to the NHL and he's going to stay there, and there's always that issue. So the Ranger fans went ballistic when they heard this pick. They didn't like it. I didn't like it. I thought they should have went with Wahlstrom or even Noah Dobson. Noah Dobson, a great defenseman. Again, the Rangers need a defenseman, and they just let it go, and they didn't take him. So Evan Bouchard goes to the Oilers, and then the Islanders with back-to-back picks. Here's the thing. The two players that I thought the Rangers should take at 9 when it was available, the hated Islanders took Wahlstrom and Dobson back-to-back. Other surprise, not many other surprises. One of the other interesting picks, number 21, Ryan Merkley. This kid is probably, after Dahlin, is the most offensive, talented defenseman in the draft. However, he dropped to 21 because a few things. He's terrible defensively. He doesn't know how to play defense. I think he was like a minus 30 or something. He's a bit smaller, and there's been a lot of off-ice issues with teammates and coaches. But the Sharks take a gamble. The Sharks also, remember, they signed Evander Kane, who had some character issues in the past. They thought they could go beyond that, and they've committed to Kane long term. So they take a shot at Ryan Merkley, who can be, I believe, the second best defenseman in this draft behind Dahlin if some of the issues are addressed. Now the Rangers traded up to get, and I think this is where they made an amazing move actually. Keandre Miller, a big guy, a great scorer, a great American player. He's got a huge high ceiling, a great power defenseman. He's committed to playing at a college. What a lot of these players are now. Some of the fans think that, okay, they're 18 years old, they're not ready for the NHL. Most of them are not. There's only 2 or 3 players in every draft that step into the league and dominate, and those players are named McDavid. Those players are named Matthews. There's very few of those players. So if your player is drafted this year, he doesn't play for 2 or 3 years, that's totally fine. This kid is going to be a great player. The Rangers traded up to get him. I think they did a great job. And the last surprise, Joe Veleno on the Red Wings. This kid was ranked much higher than them. And the Red Wings, again, got a player ranked a lot higher, and a center, another guy that plays in all the 3 zones. Veleno dropped to the Red Wings, and it was great. Great pickup for the Red Wings. My team picked up another Rasmus Sandin. Great defenseman as well, something the Leafs needed. Interesting little tidbit. The New York Rangers at 28 pick up a kid named Nils Lundqvist. Not Henrik Lundqvist, a Swedish defenseman named Lundqvist without the Q. And then the Leafs, the next pick pick up Rasmus Sandin, not Sundin. So 2 legends in the both organizations, similar names, get drafted one after the other, Lundqvist and Sandin. So, yes, it was an interesting draft because a lot of players dropped. And like typically the first round is like boom, 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 boom. This is what we're taking, and it happens. But a lot of things went off the board. So I know this video is a little long. I have a lot more to talk about. There's a couple of other trades that happened. But I really wanted to talk about the Tavares situation. Very excited what's going to happen in the next week. Again, maybe we're all excited for nothing. He's going to sign in New York. He's going to sign the 8-year, $11 to $12 million a year, $88 million minimum. That's what he's looking to get. Or it's going to be exciting, and the Leafs are going to get Tavares, and I'm going to jump for joy. Either way, very exciting times. A great weekend in the NHL if you're a hockey fan. A lot of rumors going on, a lot of trades going on. The one big trade, Dougie Hamilton gets traded to Carolina for Hanifin. Again, that was an amazing trade I can talk about for an hour, but there's a lot more of that going on. Grauber, the Washington Capitals, technically back up, even though he started the playoffs for the Stanley Cup champions, and after the first 2 games was replaced by Holtby, got traded to Colorado, who is making the right moves. So there you have it. My draft, small review, and what I think is going to happen to John Tavares. Stay tuned with Fresno Hockey Talk on our Facebook page and our Twitter account at FHD Sports. Look out for my videos. Follow us on Instagram. Follow us on all our social media, where we will update, entertain, educate, and sometimes ridicule our haters. Yeah, Las Vegas Golden Knights, you did not win the cup. Ha! Anyways, we'll see you guys soon, and please press the like button. Give me a comment down below. Thank you. This is Serge Bogosi, the Hockey Guru. Have yourself a great Sunday.